everyone, my name is Lieutenant Chris Halliday and I'm here at the Manlius Fire Department. And today we want to talk to you about all this gear that the firefighters wear. Why do we have so much gear? What does it do for us? How does it protect us when we go into a fire? And why do we look different when we have all of it on? We want to make sure that when we come to your home that you have an understanding of why we're wearing it and that you're not afraid of us when we come in. So let's take a look at all of this gear that firefighters wear.
Hi everyone, my name's Firefighter Adam, and I'm here with Mary. Mary is a firefighter in training, a fully qualified member of our Explorer Post number 526. We're going to take a few minutes to kind of detail some of the personal protective equipment that you saw our firefighters put on previously in this video. Now, when we go into hazardous environments, like a fire, very hazardous environment, we have to protect ourselves and one another. So we put on what we call, like I said, PPE, or personal protective equipment. And we're going to detail that for you now. This equipment is sometimes called bunker gear, because we've been known to sleep in it on occasion. Sometimes it's called turnout gear, because we turn out for the call, but we have to put our protective gear on first. So when we were here at these gear lockers, the firefighters put their gear on, and that's what Mary's going to demonstrate right now. Now, Mary, you can go ahead and start. And what I'll point out is that you may have noticed, our personal protective equipment, our turnout gear, is actually a bunch of different pieces. But time is of the essence when we're called for service. So one of the things you might notice is that the boots are already in the pants. And this helps Mary, in this case, really speed it up. She doesn't have to put her pants on and then the boots on after that. We can cut a step out by doing it all in one. Now, you may see on Mary's boots, there's a yellow part over the toe. That's actually a steel toe. There's steel in there because we carry heavy stuff, we drop heavy stuff, and we don't want any of that to land on our feet or on our toes and bust us up or make us hurt in any way. So that's the first thing going from the ground up. These boots have a steel toe and a real thick sole. So if we step on something, it doesn't punch through. They also, as you may have noticed when she was pulling the pants up, they're tall. They come up to about the knee. And it's important that all of our personal protective equipment overlaps. So that's how the pants and the boots overlap. Now, she also put on a hood. This is going to cover much of her face. Not all of it, but much of it. At the end of the day here, we don't want to see any of Mary's skin. Skin can burn very easily. So we burn just like anybody else burns. We want to be protected, so we don't want any bare skin shown. So that's the hood and the pants. Now the pants don't have a belt necessarily. They have suspenders. That needs to, because we can't have them falling down on us. It's not an option. So as Mary, if you could just hand me your coat for a second, I just want to show you a little bit closer up. So this is what the back of it looks like, so we can tell who we are. What department and what our names are for accountability or knowing who's there. But it's also, this turnout gear is also multi-layered. So this outside part actually helps protect us from direct flame. So direct flame impingement. It's not fireproof. It will burn, it can burn, but it's a very high temperature it takes to get there. So this protects us from direct flame. On the inside, it's quilted. It's actually insulated because while fire is hot, we don't want all of that heat to reach all the way down to our skin. We can burn through this stuff if it's too hot. And then finally, if you kind of invert that one piece, you can see there's this vapor layer. So this part helps us stay dry, but it also lets our vapors, our sweat, which there's a lot of in this gear, escape. So it might just look like one coat, but it's actually three different pieces. One coat, plus the inner layer that's comprised of two. Here you go, my friend. So as she puts this on, I'll ask her to show you her hand. So the gauntlet and the hands, real full extension. So you can see here, if we just bend that way, it actually comes up to cover her wrist. And this little gauntlet that many of you have on your clothes and stuff, this helps from keeping her sleeves rolling up and potentially exposing her wrists to burns and such. So we'll let her kind of finish this up, and as she's doing that, I'll indicate and just kind of show you there's a flashlight on there. A lot of what we do is in the dark, so you have to have a flashlight. There's other tools in here that she might be carrying with her, and this piece that she's doing now is going to be covering her neck, because this is a very easy place to burn. And then, so we still have skin showing. Where's her skin showing? Hands. So let's glove up. And as she's doing that, same story with these gloves. These are not work gloves. These are not leather gloves you buy at the hardware store. These are very specific, dual layered gloves. I will tell you from experience, they are very thick and bulky, and it makes doing any job very difficult. Mary's going to demonstrate that by putting her helmet on while wearing her gloves. Go ahead, Mary. So we have to be able to do this. This is part of our training. Blindfolded with the gloves on, get it all on. We have to be able to do this. And one of the last things that we do before we go into a structure is we actually check each other. Before we go in, it's the buddy system. We look, do you have any skin showing? Okay, let's go to work. So right now, well done. You take your gloves and your helmet off. Mary still has a little bit of skin showing, and it's really in that visage, right? It's her face that's showing. Well, we can't have that get burned. So what we're going to do, you can grab your mask, is we're going to show you the last piece of equipment that we're wearing today, and that's the mask. Now you may have noticed when one of the firefighters got off the engine before, he was wearing a backpack, right? It was this big backpack with what looked like a tank. It's actually a cylinder. We're trained that. It contains air. And when I say air, I mean air, like air. Take a deep breath, Mary. Air. It's this air. It's actual air. It's not straight oxygen. That backpack is called an SCBA. It's only missing one letter, otherwise it would be scuba. It's a self-contained breathing apparatus. The U is underwater. We don't do underwater, not in this stuff. It's an anchor we're wearing. So SCBA is the backpack with the air, regular air, that we breathe. But we can't not just a straw. So Mary can put on the mask, and then put up your hood rope. So while she's doing this, you can still see skin, but it's protected. This mask is designed to withstand major temperatures, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of degrees of temperature. And this opening that you see in the front is where the actual mask air clips in. So the backpack to a hose, and it clicks in, and you'll see this a little bit later in the video, actually in action. So I'm going to help Mary against my better judgment. Let's give her a glove or her helmet. Nice. Your glovies. Hand it to him in the wrong hands. So now, although we can see some skin in her face, she's completely protected. Her boots from the ground up come up to about her knees. Her pants, which are the same 3 layers as the coat I showed you, go all the way down to her ankles, so we've got overlap. Then we have the jacket, which has multiple closures, so it can't just open up. If you could turn it on for me, actually it's back to the camera. Then you can see there's overlap between the pants and the jacket. Overlap again. So now we come to the arm, overlap, the glove. Underneath the glove is the gauntlet and the cuff. So that's overlapped. And then the hood goes all the way up and covers this. This piece behind the helmet comes down to overlap that for more protection. Plus, the reason why a lot of these fire helmets are shaped like this, with kind of a swoop off the back, is because a lot of times we're looking up and almost all the time we're flowing water. Water that hits fire turns to steam. That doesn't turn to steam comes back at us just short of the temperature of steam. Very hot. This keeps that flowing down off our neck, down our back, and off it goes. So it's one of the ways we protect our neck, which is a very, very sensitive place. So she's completely overlapped, and she's ready to go in and do the work. So when we see you dressed like this, we're still married. We're still the same person. We just got all our old get up on. So it's important, especially for the younger folks who might be watching, if and when you ever see us, if and when we ever have to come to help you, this is good. This is what people who have come to help look like. They might look like me too. They might be a police officer with a badge, dressed oftentimes in blue. This is okay. I'm still the same person. Mary's still the same person. Are you getting warm? A little bit. So that's one of the downsides. Fighting fire in the winter, okay, now it's a little different. Fighting fire in the August, in the summertime, in 100-degree heat and 90% humidity, it takes its toll. It takes its toll, which is why physical fitness is important, checking each other in the buddy system is important, and your safety is important. One of the things to keep in mind when you see somebody all geared up like this, especially with the face mask and especially on air, is we sound different. It's hard for us to hear one another, so we have to yell. And it's even harder sometimes for you to hear us because you might be across the room. The whole idea here is we're here to help. Never ever hide, ever. Never ever hide on somebody that's there to help you, like a firefighter if there's an emergency. But it's loud. All of this gear and those steel toes, it's heavy. This is 30 plus pounds of weight on Mary right now. We also are always going to have a tool like an axe, and there's banging and yelling. It's nothing to be afraid of. We have to because it's hard to hear us. So I'm going to say, just take a step forward. Hello, hello, hello. Mary, you say it.
Hello, hello, hello.
So there's a difference because it's coming through the mask, and it's even more of a difference when somebody's actually clicked into the regulator, into the air, and breathing the air off their back. We're going to show you a brief video of what that looks like.
Anybody inside? Fire department, anybody in here?
We sure learned a lot about the equipment that firefighters wear to keep them safe today. We hope that you learned a little bit of something about what firefighters wear and why we wear it. And we hope that next time we come to your home, you won't be afraid of us and you'll understand why we have all of this equipment on. If you'd like to learn more about our fire department, check out some of our other videos on our apparatus and our station tour. If you'd like information on how to become a firefighter or an EMT with our fire department, check out our website at www.manliusfire.com. Until then, stay healthy and stay safe.